Hello, and welcome to VAD Inspires, and today I want to talk to you about something that I think will be valuable to you, and that's anxiety. On the previous Strictly Personal, part 14, we talked about neuroplasticity and self belief. Now, I want to continue through on the same vein, but I want to focus specifically on the amygdala based anxiety. If what I'm speaking, doesn't follow through your logical line of trail, you don't understand while I'm only focusing on the amygdala based anxiety on this video, you can watch the previous video before this one. I'll actually link this video in the description so that way you can be familiar with what I'm about to talk about. But in terms of the amygdala based anxiety, to change your experience, you need to change the neural connections in your brain. Right? Amygdala-based anxiety works different from cortex-based anxiety in the sense that it's not a logical memory; it's an emotional memory. For example, whenever I eat M&Ms, I feel nauseous. I feel like I cannot eat M&Ms. It's not because I'm allergic. It doesn't cost me any medical emergency situation. It's just that whenever I eat M&Ms, it just makes me feel sick in the sense that there's an emotional memory there. And when I really peel back the layer, I found out that because of the vitamins that I took when I was little, the M&Ms that I eat, the M&Ms here, they taste like vitamins, a lot of which I took growing up, and that's affected the way that I see M&Ms now. Whenever I eat M&Ms now, I feel like I'm taking that vitamins. It takes me back to that memory. And I can't eat M&Ms, right? And that's why I have formed that emotional memory. That amygdala-based anxiety between me and M&Ms is not something that I necessarily want to change because, it's candy, it's not healthy. And of course, there are other millions of candies that I could explore. But this part of this process, we're going to explore a little more later. I want to focus on trying to really zero in on understanding amygdala-based anxiety, because I think it's very crucial to understand something very well before you can try to change it. Another example, and this was the one given in the book, Rewire Your Brain, Rewire Your Anxious Brain. A woman at a hospital who have lost his logical processing capabilities, who can even remember his doctor. His doctor introduces himself like it is the first time every single day that he comes in to visit her. So her doctor tried a little bit of an experiment. He put a pin in his hand when he shaved this woman's hand one morning, and the pin pinched the pin pinched the woman's hand. Tomorrow, when the doctor came in to visit and extended his hand to shake the woman drew her hand back. Why? She was asked. She said she cannot remember. She just withdrew her hand. What does this mean? This is to express to you the fact that the amygdala-based emotional memory bypasses our logical explanation. In other words, we can be scared of something but cannot logically explain why we are scared of it. It's because somewhere, somehow, our amygdala has learned and created an emotional memory with us being scared of that particular stuff, that situations that are similar to that, it tries to save us. So one of the key questions to ask yourself when you start feeling anxious for no reason or even for a very good reason is to think of what your brain is trying to protect you from. What is your nervous system trying to protect you from? And that's part of the reasons why it's like when you try to use cortex-based strategies to solve amygdala emotional-based anxiety, is like trying to find an orange on an apple tree, trying to figure out why your car doesn't work and you're looking inside your refrigerator. It doesn't make sense to your brain to comprehend it, and hence why those strategies never work. So, triggering an association is very important when it comes to amygdala-based anxiety. What triggers something, and the association it creates an emotional memory. That's why classical conditioning is very useful when it comes to solving amygdala-based anxiety, because Though it doesn't make, although in many cases it doesn't make logical sense why you were anxious about something specific, your brain still tries to avoid that situation. Take, for example, a little girl who was afraid of public speaking, and not just in crowds, even in small family gatherings like a Thanksgiving dinner or a Christmas gathering. She's afraid to speak, she's afraid to communicate, she's afraid to talk when everyone is silent and expecting him to express himself. And when the layer was peeled back, he was traced back to a moment in high school when everyone was asked to read an assignment in front of the class. And when it was her turn to read, the teacher treated her in a way that made her feel bad about speaking because she couldn't articulate herself well. That created an emotional memory. Think about that. And because of that, her brain has generalized any gathering more than 2, 3, 4, 5 people. You cannot speak in front of that because guess what? Your teacher's gonna make fun of you, you're gonna look embarrassed, you're gonna look ignored, or someone's gonna make fun of you, even when that's not going to happen. And remember, worry is expecting negative outcome. Not that the negative outcome is gonna occur. And when we worry a lot about something, it means that some way, somehow, especially when it's emotionally based, our amygdala has created an emotional memory. And to understand this process of the amygdala-based anxiety will help us to then understand the strategies that speak the language of the amygdala and not just trying to think our way through trying to feel better. So in the next video, we're going to explore more about this as amygdala-based anxiety processes, and then we're going to touch on some of the strategies that could help you speak the language of the amygdala. And because the amygdala doesn't understand any other language other than the language of trying to touch through the emotional connection it has created to save you, you cannot understand any other language. It's like trying to speak English to a Chinese person. Your brain won't get it and you still will be stuck. So I hope this explanation of emotional-based memory helps you understand a little bit more about the reason you might be feeling anxious for no good reason. Or even sometimes the reasons that you can explain later but you still feel anxious. It could be traced back to something. So ask yourself this question: what is your brain trying to protect you from? Is there anything you experienced in the past that could be similar to those experiences that makes you feel anxious right now? Because that would explain the reason your brain is trying to protect you. But it's then to retrain your brain with a new connection to say, hey, this is not scary. Let me have this without telling me to run away. I don't need to survive this. I need to do this because I have to do it all. Something of that nature. So of course, always thank you for watching. Be great and follow for more to stay inspired.